Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, it should be obvious to everybody. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from the basement bunker beneath Keller Radio. Welcome to the Fourth Hour, my friend. It is great to have you along. I'm sorry to be a few minutes late. There was a, Fox News, I think, sometimes makes too much of things. There's this moment between Martha McCallum and Randy Weingarten, and they got into it, and for the life of me, it's a 15-minute video, and for the life of me, I couldn't find where the heated moment is. Just so many exaggerations out there online. It happens everywhere, and it's just the way it goes, except here. I don't exaggerate. When I exaggerate, you'll know when I'm exaggerating. Hey, it's great to have you along this morning. There are a few stories that I've had in my stack of stuff this morning that I did not touch on very much on the air. If I did, it was very little. But this I find this from the post-millennial. Boomers disapprove of Trump more than any other demographic. So as you look at older voters, I'm going to increase the size here a little bit so you can see this better. Overall, you can see in this column, here's the percentage that approve, and here disapprove. And you see, isn't this crazy? People 30 to 39 years old, you've got fewer that disapprove. And as you go, it gets greater, 45, right in the 40% range, 40 to 45%. You kind of see that up until 70 plus, 54% of people who disapprove. Where does that come from? So this is the question that people were asked. Do you approve or disapprove of the job that Donald Trump is doing as president? And so people of the president's own age group are saying no. That is pretty crazy. And there you see it broke. What was the question here? Yeah, do you approve or disapprove? 60 to 69. This can't be the same. Yeah, this was, no. Americans over 70, their disapproval of Trump's performance of president had a 14-point spread. That's crazy. So the older people are, the more they disapprove of the job that Donald Trump is doing. Now, what's your take on that? I would love to get your take on that. Why is it that older Americans than president's same age group are more disapproving? That to me is wild. And I know some people in that age group who are not fans, who are not fans of Donald Trump. I'm not in that oldest age group, 70 plus, not there yet. But that's pretty crazy that older Americans are tuned in that way. Why do you think that is? I'd appreciate your comments. So share your comments with me. Also, there are a few other stories. The issue with Temu. I have seen a number of different videos and reviews of Temu. I've known about Temu. Shein. It's a company I'm not familiar with. Shein. They've announced that they're increasing their prices starting Friday. And this story is written in Florida, which is why it's saying what Florida shoppers should know. I would say it's what shoppers everywhere should know. Have you bought stuff from Temu or Shein? Any of these? And I would love to get your reviews, your thoughts, because I have seen a number of different videos. Katie's watches a lot of video on YouTube. And a lot of it I find entertaining, and a lot of it I find enlightening. And people reviewing the things that they bought on Temu. I'll talk about that more in a moment. But these price increases will start on Friday. And this, of course, is because of the tariffs, that their prices are going to go up. Now, again, Temu and Shein, we're talking about China. You're ordering goods from China. How much have you seen prices go up on maybe items that you have ordered? And I ask the question because, as you are well aware, I'm a big toy collector, Batman toys in particular. And so a lot of toys are produced in China. They're manufactured in China. That's been the case for a number of years. You just got a good number of toys that Americans are purchasing that are coming from China. And I've kind of known with these tariffs, okay, how is that going to impact? I don't buy all that much anymore. I really don't. I have purchased a lot over the course of the last 40 years, but am I still purchasing a lot? Really, I'm not purchasing all that much. I am, however, there were a few figures that were coming out that I thought, I've got to have these. I want to have these. These are, without getting into it, because once I start down that rabbit hole, it's game over. So anyway, I got an email recently. It's one of a number I've received, emails that, prices are going up. And I thought, well, it's not much of a surprise. I've known that. Most of these I just disregard. Okay, I'm aware, This one caught my attention because it's items that I have had on order. I actually ordered them around the holidays, and they were to ship in April right now. So they were supposed to ship in April and really caught my eye. So I went ahead and pre-ordered. Don't normally pre-order things, but in this case, I thought, I want to make sure I get a hold of this while I'm thinking of it. So I ordered these figures, and then I get the email here. I think just within the last few days, came this week, saying, yeah, as a result of these tariffs, the price is going to go up. You're going to notice that. So if you want to change your order, whatever, they're letting you know, which I really appreciate. It's an American company that I'm ordering these through, but the manufacturing of the toy actually occurs in China. So I'm looking at that. Are you seeing that in anything that you're buying? Are you noticing that prices are going up as a result of the tariffs? And so again, where I'm seeing it is in toys, specifically because you have so many toys that are manufactured in China. That's been the case for a long time. I mean, if you go and take a look through my collection, I mean, whether it's branded Mattel or Hot Wheels or whatever it may be, you take a look, manufactured in China. A lot of toys just are. And I'm curious as to whether or not you are seeing some of that. Steve says, my cook buys little knick-knacky things from Temu, little figurines of cats and such. She leaves them scattered around the facility for her residents to find because they're cheap. Yeah. Which a lot of those things are. But then you have a lot of people who are getting ripped off. And I've seen this. And Steve, you probably have seen the videos on YouTube. Folks they wanted to order, for instance, I'm just pulling an item out of thin air, a vase. So it's this beautiful vase and filled with flowers, and they think that's what they're getting, right? And or plants of some kind. They think that's what they're getting, and then it arrives. What it is a metal sign, about this big, metal sign, and what's on the sign is what they thought they were getting, a picture of the vase. So some of them take it in pretty good spirit. They laugh. They said, look at what I got from Timu. Others don't have any good humor about it. They're absolutely outraged, as they find it. And I was just curious if you have heard any examples of that or seen anything like that. And David, I understand why you've heard bad things about Timu, as I was just explaining. Absolutely right. Denise says she's got a lot of friends and family who order tons off Timu, but I never have because of it being China. And I never have, to my knowledge. I don't think to my knowledge, I have not ordered anything from Timu. I have ordered junk. I ordered something. It was a phone holder, and it was on Facebook. It was junk. It was absolute junk. And I just threw it in the garbage. And then, okay, lesson learned. No more purchasing by a Facebook marketplace, because you have the same thing going on. It's the same as, ordering off Timu or Shein or what have you. Melissa is talking about Amazon's prices. In general, they went up, and now they're going down. Even local stuff like groceries. And I must admit, I don't keep as close an eye on individual items as I'm buying as I should. When I'm in the grocery store, when I'm buying stuff, I look at the overall total, obviously. How much am I paying? But I don't look at the price of each item in particular, probably as hard as I should. I'm trying to take a look at some of your comments. David saying, as we were talking about the age disparity in Trump, the 70-plus crowd really opposed to President Trump. I found that surprising. David saying, my daughter keeps me informed of all of the Don's faults. Denise says, my dad is that age group. And he's a Bernie Sanders fan. Hates Trump. Interesting. Steve said, my mom sends me news articles from AOL News. Yeah, I have, my dad, I get a little bit upset with my dad here recently. He's been sending me some of the anti-Trump stuff my dad has. And I'm like, Dad, every time I hear from you, this is what you send me. I love hearing from you, Dad. I just don't want to hear this. I can turn on CBS News if I want to hear all of this stuff. I just really don't appreciate hearing that from family. Not my dad anyway. And I have talked about this before. When I see my dad, I don't talk politics with my dad or my family. I don't talk politics. I talk politics when I'm working. I talk politics with you. I do talk politics with Katie. I talk politics with my friends. But when I'm with family, I'm more interested in, how are you doing? What's going on? What's new? What do you have coming up? Taking, you got any getaways coming up? What have you been up to? Those kinds of things. That's what I'm looking for generally when I'm speaking with families. And I'm always kind of blown away, around the time of the holidays, You have a lot of people who are responding about, blow ups at their family getting together. And I always find that unfortunate. It's terrible, but I get it. I mean, I don't want to say I don't understand it because I do. I think some people really are challenged to, you know, keep the peace and not to, and it's tough. It is absolutely tough. And I understand this. I mean, there have been conversations at times that have gone when I have been at family events over the years, when I have to get up and I excuse myself. I'm like, this is a nowhere road for me. I see this ending in a bad place and I don't want to go there. So I just get up and leave, excuse myself. It can be, I think, really, really difficult at times. All right, there was another story that I wanted to share with you this morning. I'm not a fan of CBS News, but I just found this hilarious. The producer of 60 Minutes has quit the show. Now get a load of this. After losing his journalistic independence, CBS, he's with 60 Minutes. You all know the record of 60 Minutes. So he is become clear that he would not be allowed to run 60 Minutes in the way that he's always run it. Here's the thing. CBS is getting ready to pay Donald Trump a boatload of money. Remember over that Kamala Harris story? They are getting ready to apologize over that Kamala Harris story. And if that's something that you're not familiar with, remember and we talked about it on the radio show at the time. This was during the campaign. She sat down with 60 Minutes, and 60 Minutes was showing in their programs, in their news programs, different highlights from the interview. Same question, but from the interviewer. And one answer sounded nothing like another. Same question, different answers by Kamala Harris. You remember that. And that was on 60 Minutes. And so now this CBS, Donald Trump sued over that. And the network, it looks like, appears to be getting ready to settle with Donald Trump. And as a result of that, issue an apology. And so this producer of 60 Minutes has up and left. And I that just makes me laugh. I mean, that show has no credibility. I can't tell you how long ago it's been since I watched 60 Minutes. I don't tune in. And I wouldn't tune in, regardless of who they may talk to. I just, no, thank you. And I'm that way with a lot of the legacy media. No, thanks. Just not interested. Not going to tune in. And I've got to tell you, I'm not missing anything. I feel like I'm still very well informed. I spend a lot of time in the news. I do my news opinion. I refuse to let it be formed by CBS, NBC, ABC, CNN, and just MSNBC. Just work your way on down the list. It's pretty incredible. Robert, you are incredibly kind. Every morning during the 6 a.m. hour of the Greg Belfrage Show, we're on YouTube as well. And Robert's there. Robert, I really appreciate that. I hope all of you know how much I value each of you. So the only thing 60 Minutes is pushing a show I want to watch later in the schedule. Yeah. All right, my friends, that's a wrap from the bunker today. You have made it to the end of the video, so you are part of my gallery of champions. And I've got to come up with a name for those of you who actually take the time to hit the like button. More and more of you have been doing so, and that's the only way to build up my numbers and let other people know about what we're doing each day is for you to hit that like button. It's one of the most effective ways to let other people know that you like what we're doing. And I'm just so glad you're a part of it. So we're going to leave it there for today. Until tomorrow, my friend, I'm underground and gone.